Hey everybody, this is Matt, and I want to share with you how you can use Google Slides to create virtual manipulatives to get kids engaged and learning. So this is an activity here that we decided to create, and it's a fourth grade lesson where students are going to review units of measurement. And we were talking about ounces, pounds, and tons, and cups. So they would be able to drag these objects to where they were supposed to go. But this was one of the coolest activities here is where they're going to guess how many ounces equal a pound or whatever other problem they're going through. And then they're going to drag these boxes into the pound container, count them up, and then put that answer right here to see if they were correct. Now, not only did we do that with ounces to pounds, we did it with pounds to tons, ounces to cups, and even ounces to 2 pounds. So we had all of these different things right here that were available for students. So how exactly did I do this? Well, let's go ahead and show you. We'll show you this part right here. First of all, you want to create a brand new Google Slideshow presentation. When you're doing that, I would recommend changing the layout so that you have either a blank slide or just a title slide. The title slide only is great for putting in your question. So let's say, for instance, I put down question number one, how many ounces equal a pound? 1 pound. Okay. All right. So the very first part was right here where I put down my guess. Now, all I did was I simply went right here and got a Bitmoji and simply copied and pasted it right in. So you can get the Bitmoji extension, and that will give you access to your Bitmojis. The next part is I created a text box. Now, this text box right here, I just put it right here. Now, one thing I don't like is it's sort of invisible. So in order to make it visible to the person that's filling this out, I would choose the dotted lines here. Gives it sort of a obvious look of that's where you're going to put your answer. And then I'd use another text box to write the actual question. Okay, so then we get to this part. How did I do this activity for the virtual manipulative? Well, if you simply draw a shape, okay, I'm going to just draw just a simple shape right here. And I type in 1 ounce. Okay. That's going to then allow me to duplicate. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste. All right. So now I'm just going to put these different objects right here into a row. Okay. Make it look good. And then I'm going to click and drag across so that I select them all. Right. And I'm going to copy and paste. And then I'm going to do that again, copy and paste. And now I've just created 16 boxes, which that's the answer. So now I'm going to go right up here to where it says shapes. And I'm going to draw another box on top of everything. Okay. And this is going to be 1 pound. All right. I'm going to change the color just so that the user can see a difference. But the problem is that if I drag these little boxes over top, they're not going to be able to see the boxes. So I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to right click on here and send this all the way to the back. Okay. Because when you draw objects on either PowerPoint, Keynote, or Google Slides, they layer on top of one another. So now this is fine. Just going to move this out of the way just for now, and you'll see why. Because I'm going to select all of these 1 ounce containers, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to do what is called align horizontally. That moves everything into the center of the page, and then I'm going to align vertically so it puts everything in the middle. Now everything's still selected, so don't click on anything because then you can move this over here and it moves everything at once. If you accidentally clicked off and then clicked on the object and move it, it'll only move one object at a time. Okay. So a good way to get that back if you accidentally did that is just to simply click off of it and drag here. And then now you can move things around. It selects it all. So that's a little trick for you. All right. So let's move this over here. And voila, there we go. Now, what I did for this next part is I created just this box. I just drew it and then I started typing the text inside. So we'll just go ahead and pop that in right here. Just going to move that over just a bit. And then now I have this. So once again, another Bitmoji. another text box, and a little bit of word art right there to put down. All right, so now the question is how do you get this to your students? Well, there's a couple different ways you could do this. You could post it as an assignment in Google Classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Make sure that I save it right here. And I'm going to go into Classroom. And when I go into Classroom, I'm going to go to Classwork. I'm going to create an assignment. And I'm just going to call this assignment measuring activity. All right. Then I'm going to add it from my Google Drive, right? So it'll bring up your Google Drive and you'll see right here. Okay. And then now what I can do is I can make a copy for each student. So it's really important that you do that. That you make a copy for each student so each student has their own individual copy, and then go ahead and hit assign. All right. But what if you don't have Google Classroom and you have another type of learning management system and you want each student to have their own individual copy? Well, there's a couple different ways you could do that. First of all, you could have them go into the Google slideshow presentation and make a copy of the entire presentation. That's one way. Another quick and easy way is to simply share and force a copy. So how does that work? Well, first of all, you'd go right up here to the share button and you would change this from restricted so that anyone with the link. Now, if you are using your school issued Google account, you might see that anyone within your district, that'll work too. But I'm going to choose anyone with the link, and it does not matter if it's view or edit. So I'm going to go ahead and hit copy. And then I'm going to go right into here just to show you. Now, the step I'm about to show you, you can do this in your learning management system, okay? So you can just share this as a link. But I want to show you with you what you need to do to the link in order to force a copy. Right now, if you share this, it's going to be only view only. However, if you delete up to the word edit and you type in the word copy in lowercase, watch what happens. It forces a copy. So that's a great way to force a copy so that everybody has their own copy of this particular exercise. I thought it was really helpful. I loved how students are able to just click on here and then drag it into the box. It gives them a hands-on activity. It's engaging. It gets them guessing, tests their knowledge. And it was great for the station rotation model that we used for this, where we did this particular activity with one group, and another group did a flip hunt, and another group used Bamboozle, which is almost like a Jeopardy type of game. So had a lot of fun doing this, and hopefully you do too. Love to hear about how you're using it. So make sure you share in a comment below.